But I'm super excited that you are joining. Thank you for taking time out. Okay, Dina Cole put a 1 in the chat. Thank you. So we are talking about planning to heal and win. So as you know, it is countdown season before the new year. And I really wanted to talk to you today and give you some gems about how we can start to not only just plan for the new year in terms of goal setting, but plans for the new year in terms of healing, right? It's like, if you are ready to heal, put a 1 in the chat. I hope you are. Many of us are already working on our healing journey. And I think sometimes we just need those necessary steps in order to get us to the next level. So today I want to talk about clarity, right? How we can have clarity in our life in terms of whether or not we define ourselves as people pleasers, codependents, whether or not we want to set boundaries, how we want to set the boundaries, who we need to set boundaries with, and how can this now impact our life and bring us clarity, bring us joy, bring us peace, right? So I'm sitting like outside of a Starbucks, so if you hear the background, that's what it is. So clarity is one of the topics I'm going to be talking about in my up and coming workshop December 16th, and is one of the main things that we need. We need clarity and we need a vision. So now clarity when it comes to our healing journey is us really being transparent about who we are and what we need, right? Many of us who struggle with people pleasing and codependency, our life has always been about other people. It's always been about supporting others. It's always been about trying to see what this person needs from us, what that person needs from us, and we're trying to squeeze in ourselves while we're also doing these other things, right? So when we start to get clarity about our situation, we come to the understanding that we come first. I want to tell you right now, you come first in all situations. You are the top priority. And it's not selfish of you, it's not mean of you to prioritize yourself and set boundaries. Because when we say we want to show up as these phenomenal people at our jobs, with our children, with our family, with our friends, in our life in general, how are we supposed to be that person if we ourselves are exhausted, tired, not really feeling our best, not feeling like our needs are being met, not feeling like seen or heard, not feeling supported or validated, right, in our relationships? How are we supposed to do this? And so I stress to all my coaching clients as well as you, we need to develop levels of clarity. What direction are we going in our life? Who do you want to be there? When you start to reflect on your healing journey, I want you to envision yourself, driving a bus and you have 5 seats on that bus. Now, not counting spouses or children, right? Because we're bringing them, they're a part of our journey no matter what, right? But when it comes to everybody else, who are key people that you want in your life? They pour into you. They provide a sense of peace and love for you. And how do you plan on cultivating those relationships? How do you plan on growing more relationships that are similar to those? Because that's what we need, right? That's what we need when we're on a healing journey. You need a community of people that support you, that acknowledge you, that understand the things, right, that you're going through, so that you can feel like you have someone to talk to. So now, as we start to think about clarity when it comes to healing from codependency and people pleasing, what we have to get clear about is the reality that we are people pleasers, right? And that could be challenging. I know for many of you, like, that could feel like a lot, right? To say, yes, I am codependent, or yes, I am a people pleaser, Nobody wants to do that. I'm not sure if I've ever shared my story, but when I first went to my first codependency meeting, I sat in the meeting for almost about 2 or 3 weeks before I actually said, "Hi, my name is Tanisha and I struggle with codependency." That's a challenging thing to do. However, when I did it, it opened up so many doors for me. And that's the same experience that I know you can have. It's like being transparent, being open, being vulnerable. It opens up doors for us to say, wow, okay, I struggle with this. So now what are the resources available to help me tackle what this is? Right? And that's what clarity does. Clarity provides us with the ability to be able to say, okay, this is what I struggle with. This is what I know about myself, right? I know I struggle with people pleasing and codependency. I know that I want to heal from this. I know I no longer want to live a lifestyle like this. So now, how can I begin to create a plan for myself to not live this life anymore? How can I create a strategy for myself to not fall in pits where I'm taking care of other people and not taking care of myself? Because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are always at the top of our list. If our cup is not full, there's no way that we're going to be able to support other people, right? Hey, Danielle, and hey, Olivia. Thank you, everybody, for joining. There's no way that we're going to be able to support other people if our cup is not full. And that's why I talk about this so much. That's why I stress it so much, because I really want to make sure you understand that this isn't you being selfish. You taking care of yourself is never selfish. If you listen to my podcast, Moments of Reflection podcast, I'm going to put the podcast here. Happy holidays to you too. I've been doing pretty good. I'm going to put the podcast here. If you listen to my podcast, hey Melly, how are you? Thank you for joining. Am I saying your name right? Melissa, thank you for joining. But if you listen to my podcast, I had an episode a couple of weeks ago where I shared that if you struggle with people pleasing and codependency, you have a love deficit. Meaning that it does not take much for people to pour into you. It doesn't take much for people to do things for you, and then we say, okay, this person cares about me, and then they give us 40%, and then we give them like 100, 150. That's generally how it goes. And because of this, we have to now be mindful, and we have to be clear about, yes, I did not get my needs met when I was a child. Or yes, I did not get my needs met, in my early adult life. And maybe even right now. For some of us, it's a continuation. For some of us, we're not getting needs met. We didn't get needs met in childhood, nor are we right now. But that does not mean that we won't ever get them met, right? It doesn't mean that we won't be in spaces where we feel supported and loved, right? It's like, put a 1 in the chat if you with me so far, because I want to make for sure that you get what I'm saying. But it does mean that you're going to have to find a way to center yourself first. And that's what clarity does. Clarity provides us with the understanding that, okay, yes, this is an issue. It brings that self-awareness. This is something I need to work on, right? This is something that I'm tired of dealing with. And so once we get clear about that, that's when we gain an understanding of, okay, well, what's next? I know that I'm struggling with this. So what's next? I know that I need to figure out, how to heal from people pleasing and codependency. So what's next? That's what clarity does. And so as we are journeying on, trying to figure out how next year is going to start, I don't want to wait till next year to help you start to think about how it's going to start. I want us to have a conversation right now. Look at yourself. Look at your situation. How was 2023? What happened in 2023? And whether it was good or bad, just ask yourself, what happened in 2023? How do you want 2024 to be different? It's like, this is how we start to plan to heal. We have to plan for our healing like we would plan for anything else. Like, that's just the reality. The same way that you would plan to purchase a home, the same way you would plan to like apply for a job, the same way you would plan for an event that was happening at your house. That's the same way that you have to plan when it comes to your healing. How do you plan to work on your healing? And be serious about it. You know, when I talk about these things, I always have a lot of passion, and it's because it's near and dear to my heart. I take my healing journey very seriously, and I want you to as well. You know, you have to be serious about how do you plan to show up in your own life. And yeah, we're talking about it specifically to 2024, but really I want you to think about like period. You know, because for me, what I've realized is these years have like all kind of collided together. And the stagnation, what I thought was stagnation, was actually God holding me in a certain position so that he can stretch me, so that he can grow me. And now I'm walking into spaces where people may have more in terms of the physical or the environmental, but the joy and the love that I have in my heart, even the days where I'm sad and, you know, feeling depressed and going through it, there's a glow, there's a joy, and it's all because of the work that I did. So that's why I'm asking you, how do you plan to heal and win in your life, period? You know, we have to get clear about what's working and what's not working. We have to stop feeling like if we are transparent and honest about our pain, that now means, you know, well, I'm thinking negative, or, you know, I'm not thinking good thoughts about myself. You can tell yourself that you feel like crap, and in the same sentence, you can do something about it. Hey, Tony, thank you for joining. Hey, Proverbs 31, thank you for joining. We do not have to stay in situations where we're just trying to think optimistic all the time, you know, or thinking negative all the time. Thought process, mindset is just that, you know. It's something that's set in one time, one moment, and then it changes. You know, it doesn't mean that it has to stay the same. It's okay for you to say, I didn't get my needs met as a child. I see how that manifests now into me being in toxic relationships. I see how that manifests now into me being nervous about really planning goals for myself and doing things I want to do. And I also know that the knowledge that I'm gaining from being vulnerable with myself, from showing myself compassion, is what's going to help me move forward. Sometimes we have to be in spaces where we get broken. And to be honest with you, I allow myself to fall apart. As things start happening, I allow myself to feel it and grow with the feeling. Grow with the heartbreak, grow with the sadness, grow with the joy, grow with the happiness, grow with the grief. We don't reflect enough, you guys, about how things are making us feel. We're so busy trying to get away from the feeling. Going on a vacation, shopping, eating, drinking, hanging out with people, distracting ourselves. Right? It's like we're so busy trying to get out of the feeling. It's so much power in just allowing yourself to feel it. Because when we allow ourselves to feel it, we literally grow. Grow. Look. We literally grow through it as we're going through it. But if you don't allow yourself to go through it, you're not going to grow. You're not going to see the transformation that you want to heal. It amazes me. Like, people be walking around and stuff be really, really bad for them. And they be looking at me like, Tanisha, you know, what's going on for you? And I share. And sometimes my situation is deeper. Sometimes my situation is, you know, the same amount of pain that they have. But I'm holding it different because I know that this is just a moment. I know that this is just a season, right? I know that this experience is going to grow me in ways that's going to help me get to that next level of my life, right? I know that I'm growing through these experiences. So because I'm growing through it, I'm excited. Like, all right, bring it on. When life started lifing, I'm like, all right, Tanisha, what's the lesson? Like, what's the lesson in this? Like, yeah, it was a tough lesson, but what was the lesson? And how do I want to move forward? That's what planning to heal looks like. You know, healing is not, it's not a linear process, not at all. You know, we up, we're down, we're to the left, we're to the right, we're in the middle. Sometimes we just flatline. You know, it's up, you know, healing looks like this, right? But the joy in that is, what if you were able to find a way to self-regulate yourself, right? Hey, Karima, thank you for joining. Hey, Afia, thank you for joining. What if there was a way you were able to regulate yourself to the point when life is throwing you like this, you already know that's going to happen. So every direction that you go, you have peace within yourself. You have joy within yourself, right? You have contentment within yourself. So it doesn't matter because you know this is all a part of the journey. I told you this year, you know, it was crazy. This year was crazy. It was so many health challenges. It was so many obstacles. It was so many relationships that were changing or ending altogether. And I was like this. But because I had my center, which is myself, I was able to shift through. Every time something happened, I had that clarity that I'm telling you guys about. I had that joy that I'm telling you about. I had that self-compassion. I had that self-awareness, that understanding of, okay, Tanisha, what do you need to do for yourself? You don't like you don't like the position that you're working at. Why are you here? What is the purpose for you being here? Okay, this purpose is for you to make money to continue your dream, to make money to continue living the life you want to live, to make money to continue to pay your bills. So why allow what somebody else is saying stop me from all of that end goal? Right? So because I don't like a coworker, or because, my supervisor is saying things I don't agree with, now I just leave. Hey, Mika, thank you for being here. It's like, now I just leave. Now I jeopardize all of that on the back end. Being able to go out, being able to have money to pay my bills, being able to have money for my family, etc., etc. Being able to have money to invest into my dreams. So it's like I share that example because we get caught up in that middle part. An incident occurs. We don't have the tools to self-regulate and understand what's really going on. So we get in our feelings. Once we're in our feelings, now we can't think. Literally in the brain, every time we get into we get upset or there's an emergency, all the blood literally goes to the back of your brain. When that happens, nothing is here in the front. Therefore, you can't think, you can't plan, nothing. But when you're able to self-regulate yourself, you can literally not only change that physiologically by bringing that blood back to the brain so that you can think, back to the frontal lobe so that you can think, but you also are calming your own self so you can remember why you're doing this. We got to remember why we in this healing game. Who cares if you set a boundary and somebody get mad at you? The end goal is that you no longer want to feel like you're not in control of your own life, like you don't know the direction that you're going. You no longer want to feel guilt and shame for doing things that you want to do. That is the end goal. So if somebody is getting upset with us, who cares? The end goal is you don't want to feel this pain, this guilt, this shame anymore about living your own life, right? Karima said, I concur, I need those skills. Yes, it's like we have to be able to have tools in place. That's the problem here. The problem is incidents happen, things happen, events happen. We don't have the tools to really sit down. And that's why I talked today about how do you plan to heal and win. In my upcoming workshop, that's what we're going to be talking about. And one of the topics that we're talking about that I'm sharing with you today is clarity. When you have that clarity, that understanding about, yes, this is my end goal. This is the goal. Right? For me, my end goal is, I ultimately only want to be a writer and a coach, right? And teach classes like this. I can't allow someone getting mad at me at work to prevent me from my end goal, right? I can't allow a friendship ending prevent me from my end goal. I can't allow a relative, falling out with me to prevent me from the end goal. When we have clarity, we keep going. Well, really, when we have clarity and vision, but we're going to talk about vision tomorrow. But when we have clarity, we keep going. You keep saying, yes, I'm going to get up. I'm going to keep moving. Karima said, what if it's family? When it's family, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And listen, there's other tools too that we need. Many of us, we don't have communication skills. If you struggle with people pleasing and codependency, I say this in love. You do not have good communication skills. What you have is you have good listening skills and you have a high tolerance for foolishness. Meaning when stuff jumps off and drama is everywhere, you have the ability to stay in it and remain calm or appear calm. Because for many of us, we're used to that. We're used to the drama. We're used to, trying to figure out ways to calm our own selves where there's a lot of chaos around. Right? I'm not saying that we bring drama, right? I say we because I'm a people pleaser myself. I'm not saying we bring drama, but what I am saying is we can sit in drama for long periods of time without really understanding or knowing the impact on us because it's a familiar place. So it's like we'll see the red flags that people bring, but because it's a familiar place, we have a high tolerance. Like we are the ones that will still be with that friend who's being vulgar and belligerent in public. We'll be the one to try to calm him or her down. Whereas somebody else who maybe has a lot of boundaries, who maybe grew up in a different household with more structure, they may walk away. Like, oh, this is too much for me. Right? And so it's like when it's a family member, we still have to find ways to set those boundaries. Now, sometimes when we don't have healthy communication skills, it's challenging to set boundaries. And so I always encourage people, try your best to separate yourself until you can learn ways to truly communicate your boundaries, And I know it's challenging with family, especially during the holidays, I'm not sure, Karima, if you saw my post, but I had posted it should have said holidays, but I said ways to take care of yourself while dealing with family on Thanksgiving. But really it's universal. Like you can do it for any holiday, and it's just really sharing with people like, hey, I love you. I care about you. The time we spend together is important to me. But when it comes to this topic, this is something I want to keep to myself. Or when it comes to this topic, this is something I'd rather not share right now. Like, you don't have to say I don't want to talk about it with you, because that's direct. And then that will lead to them asking you a question. Well, why not? Right? It's like, you want to say something like, I don't want to talk about that right now. Or, I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about that. I don't really feel comfortable sharing too much right now. Anytime somebody talk about something that I don't feel comfortable saying, I pretty much just regurgitate whatever they said. I had a situation where somebody asked me, what do you think about, Cassie and P. Diddy? And I just said, well, I think it's unfortunate, and I'm happy that she feels seen and heard and supported, right? You don't get into the nitty gritty. Like, that's the example that I'm trying to give. Like, you don't say, well, I don't think this and I don't think that and that's right and that's wrong, because all of those type of statements just lead people to ask you more questions, right? And sometimes we're not ready to do that. But when you keep things very general, people can't really say anything about that. Say, for example, if you went to a family member's house, and they said, like, oh, when are you going to start dating? You can just say something like, you know what? It's a good question. I really need to try to get out here and figure it out. I'm going to let you know. Or you can say, I didn't know you was thinking about me in that way. I'm still trying to get it together. I'll let you know. Right? It's like, these are ways that we can keep communicating without being vulnerable, but also not shutting down. Hey sis, thank you for joining. But it's like, what we do often is we get combative with people, and that's not the goal, right? It's like, the end goal is we want to find a way to connect with this person. So it's like, by us being combative, that's going to shut that down. We have to find ways to build rapport. We have to find ways to build a community of people that we can be that way with. I started choking, but we have to find ways to build communities with people that we can be vulnerable with, and just accept that that's not going to be everybody, and sometimes that's not going to be our family. Say yes or defensive. Kramer said, what if family members are holding grudges? Yeah, it's unfortunate if, when people do that, but there's honestly nothing we can do. I mean, if there was an apology that you want to make and you already did that, then it's like, it's really nothing you can do. All we can do for people that hold grudges is continue to move on with our own life, and when they come back around, we can have a conversation if you want to. If they don't come back around, that's okay too. We just really have to let go and let people take care of themselves. And it's hard, because we want to be there for people. We don't like confrontation, right? That still sits with me. Like, when I know somebody's upset with me or it's something that's happened, like, I still be kind of like nervous about, well, I wonder what's going to happen, but I just keep moving. And that's what you should do. We have to just keep moving. We have to let go. We have to trust that people will come to their own understanding in due time. And if they don't, then they weren't the people for us, But listen, I don't want to keep you guys too long because I've been on here for a minute already. I'm going to share this live so that you can listen to the replay. I want to thank everybody who took time out of their afternoon or their evening, depending on where you are. I'm in California, so it's like 3 o'clock, but I'm not sure where you guys are. But I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. So today we talked about clarity. Listen, if you are ready to truly find ways to heal, to plan to heal, I hope I gave you something to think about in terms of that. I want you to click the first link in my bio. Oh, in Atlanta. Okay, I got family in Atlanta. I want you to click the link in my bio, the first link. I'm having a workshop. It's a virtual workshop. I'm inviting all of you there. Saturday, December 16th is called Plan to Heal and Win. We're going to go over what we talked about today, clarity, and five other topics needed four other topics needed in order to truly plan to heal from codependency and people pleasing. In the workshop, we're going to be mapping out. We have 5 different activities. That one of the activities is called mapping out our pain points, or pain mapping, I called it. So from 5 up until the age you are right now, in the exercise, you have to fill out all the memories you have of when somebody hurt you. You can start off like with family, friends, and then it should transition into like intimate partners. I want you to put everybody on there that you ever remember hurting you. And the reason for that is we're going to be breaking down exactly what happened in that moment when you felt like you were hurt. How did they hurt you? How did it impact you? What did you learn from it? And in what ways did it shuffle you, in a sense, right? Being hurt by them. And how do you want to start to get over it, right? And once you do that activity, when you get to the workshop, we're going to be talking about how we can work through and grow through, right? GROW, how we can grow and go through pain. And then we're going to be doing an activity I'm really excited about, where we look at the vision. What is the vision that you have for your life, for your healing journey? What do you want it to look like? You know? What boundaries do you need to set? How do you want to be able to communicate with people? How do you want to be able to connect with people? These are all questions that you should be asking and reflecting on for yourself. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm super excited. My main thing is to build community. I love building community. I love for you guys to connect with each other. I want you to see that there are people all over healing from codependency just like you. Last time I did a workshop, it was somebody there from Canada, Australia, Africa. We had a great time. We had a really great time. It is a 3-hour workshop because, we are planning for your future, so we can't, we can't be quick with this, you guys. Like, we gotta give it some time. So it is a 3.5-hour workshop, but I'm telling you, people that came last year, they had an amazing time. It was a great way to kick off their journey, and I know the same thing is going to happen for you. So we got about 2.5 weeks before the workshop. So every single day, I'm going to be giving you guys some information about the workshop, so that you can know exactly what it's about. But I really hope you decide to click that link and go ahead and purchase your ticket. It's not expensive at all. It's only $57. It's a 3.5-hour workshop. You get a packet with it. As soon as you register, you get a 10-page packet. So that's why I'm urging everybody, don't wait until December 14th, 15th to get the ticket, because I want you to have time to do the homework and really sit with it and reflect. Plus, I want you to be a part of the community. We're going to have a group me in the group me app. I use this app called Group Me, and we have, like, within the app, our own group where everybody that's connected in the class, we all come together. Every single day I share gems. You can get your questions answered. You can share revelations that you're having along the journey. So it's really fun. It's really fun. If you are a person that loves vision boards, then you're gonna love this class. But this class is taking you to the next level. This class is talking about you and your healing and what you need. So I can't wait to see you there. Karima, Sam, anybody else who is still here joining. I see your comments, Karina. You are so funny. But thank you guys so much for joining this live, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.